Coming to paperback and Kindle this fall, ESTEEM Blast from the Past. Hell's aspiring angel takes on her demonic doppelganger in this time-traveling, action-packed ESTEEM series adventure. Pre-order your copy of ESTEEM Blast from the Past on Kindle with a bonus ESTEEM comic await for the paperback this fall. In science fiction and fantasy, writers oftentimes make social commentary about things going on in the present day between the lines of their stories. And in my stories about characters like ESTEEM, I make commentary about things going on in the modern day black community. Now, back when I created the ESTEEM character, I was originally inspired by actress Sally Richardson Whitfield, and I was inspired by her performances on voiceovers on the show Gargoyles, and I was inspired visually by her attractive appearance in films like A Low Down Dirty Shame. And I wanted to make a commentary with the ESTEEM character on the black woman and the black woman's father issues, because the black woman's father issues are something that really prevent her from growing and having an abundant life here in the world as related to having a relationship with men and having a relationship with the Most High Living God. And these father issues are something that do deep damage to the black woman and really lead to her winding up on a road where she not only destroys the lives of others, she also destroys her own life because she winds up in a perpetual state of misery. Now, again, I was inspired by actress Sally Richardson for the visual design of ESTEEM because I wanted the ESTEEM character to be an extremely attractive woman on the outside, but I wanted her to be on the inside someone who was being plagued by her inner demons, and these inner demons were the thing that led to her becoming this demon. Now, the greatest inner demon that ESTEEM had to deal with were these father issues, and these father issues came out of her origin, which I featured in the free ebook Baptism of Blood, The Origin of ESTEEM, and also talked about in the ESTEEM series book, ESTEEM, The Sands of Time. Now, the ESTEEM character was originally a princess of the nation of Casia, and the nation of Casia was supposed to be an allegory about the United States. So this was a country that was basically a land of milk and honey, a extremely prosperous nation ruled over by the king Masticacius. However, this king thought he could go into the heavens and challenge the gods of Heliopolis. And as he challenged Osiris and tried to take over the Heliopolitan kingdom, he challenged Prince Osiris, and Prince Osiris, with the help of Ra, defeated Masticacius and destroyed the nation of Casia. Now, as this was going on, Seth, Prince Seth at the time, was making a deal with ESTEEM's mother, Idalia, to spare her life in order to get the dark magic that he would need in order to murder Osiris. And the ESTEEM character became an orphan with the destruction of Casia, and with this destruction of Casia, a couple of years later, it led to the establishment of the foundation of the city of Heliopolis and the start of the kingdom of ancient Egypt. Now, the ESTEEM character was deemed by Seth to be this child of the gods and was supposed to be this avatar that they were hoping to grow up into, and this avatar was supposed to be a representative of the best of humanity. And she was supposed to be able to get all of these powers as related to those avatar powers, but what happened was Seth's treachery threw a monkey wrench in all of those plans. Now, as they were making these plans, ESTEEM was being raised by Osiris and Isis in the Heliopolitan palace, as a child. She was being raised in a healthy home environment, as I presented in ESTEEM, The Sands of Time. And I wanted to make a commentary on how all children usually start out as innocent in the beginning, and in a healthy environment, these daughters can grow up to be a very healthy and productive person if nobody gets in the way. Because the ESTEEM character, as she first started out, she wanted to become a priestess, and she wanted to serve the people of the growing nation of ancient Egypt. But the great monkey wrench in those plans was Seth in the background, and all of the pressures and expectations people had of her. But as this was going on, she was having a very healthy relationship with her adopted father, Osiris, and a healthy relationship with her adopted mother, Isis. But she was very close to her father, and I wanted to make the point that when girls grow close to their fathers, they usually wind up connecting with their fathers. They form bonds with their fathers, and these bonds and connections, these are the things that lead to a girl having a healthy growth. If nobody gets in the way of those connections, those girls learn a model for an example of manhood, and they learn a model for how a man is supposed to treat them. Moreover, they start to see the connection between the man and God, and this connection is the thing that makes them want to go out here and be servants like ESTEEM originally planned to be, aspiring to be this priestess, because they understand that they have a role in working with that man, and that is reinforced by the mother, Isis, in the story. Again, you see the mother and the father working together, and this teaches the daughter how she is supposed to go out here and do her work, and it teaches the daughter how she is supposed to have relationships and how she is supposed to relate to other men, and how she is supposed to go out here and work with other men and women in serving the community. So with the ESTEEM character, I wanted to lay the foundation that the black woman started out in a healthy household setting, but the dysfunction came when outsiders like Seth came in, and Seth, as he took on a disguise, making himself look like Osiris, then told ESTEEM that she could not be the priestess that she aspired to be because she was a Cation, and he then beat her up, and then she, after being abused by Seth and being brutally beaten, then left to wander in the desert, because she fled after learning the truth about her heritage, and she wanted to go. She left that Heliopolitan palace because she felt like they had rejected her, and that was a commentary I was making about how our black girls out here, when they feel rejected by their fathers, they feel like they have no place in the home. They feel like they have no place in the world. They feel like they have no connection to anything in the world. And what happens is that they wind up drifting and wandering and looking for love, the love that only a father can give them. And because they don't get that love from a father, what happens is they wind up wandering, and then they wind up becoming lost, like ESTEEM was, wandering in the dark, in the desert, and then they get discovered by predators like Seth, and predators like Seth then wind up corrupting these girls' minds, and they corrupt these girls' minds with lies and misinformation, and these lies and misinformation are the thing that lead to them becoming extremely angry, extremely bitter, and looking to go out here, instead of going out to help build the world, going out here looking to destroy the world. Because oftentimes when you have young black girls and there is no father there to give them structure, to give them order, and give them a spiritual foundation in the Most High God, what happens is those girls wind up, instead of looking to build with a man, go out here looking to hurt other people. And that's what happened with the ESTEEM character. As she got involved with Seth, she thought about the way she thought Osiris had hurt her, and because she thought about the way she thought Osiris had hurt her, she wanted to go out here and just not only hurt other people, she wanted to destroy the nation of Egypt, because she had been hurt by her father, and she wanted to hurt her father by helping to destroy his nation. So when you have young black girls out here without a father, they have no one there to teach them how to build. They have no one there to teach them the value and importance of what they build, nor is there somebody there to teach them their role in maintaining what is built. Because in order to have a legacy, you not only need the father to build things, you need the mother there to teach the daughter the value of what is being built, because the mother is the first teacher of culture, and she has to teach them that this culture has value. However, when a girl has been harmed as related to her relationship with her father, or she grows up in a dysfunctional environment like a single mother household, she does not learn the value of what her father has built, why it's important, or why it's important to preserve it. And instead of her looking to build and maintain what her father has worked on, she looks to destroy everything around her. And that's something that your girl learns when she is not properly taught. And I wanted to again make that commentary with the ESTEEM character, who it was adopted, and I wanted to make that commentary because it's not about whether the daughter is biological or adopted. It is about the relationship that that girl has with that man, because that relationship that that girl has with that man is the most paramount thing. Because in the relationship that we have with the Most High, we are adopted sons and daughters of the living God. So he teaches us about our family with him and our connection with our Father. And this is the same thing I wanted to do with the ESTEEM character, was make the same type of commentary. And I wanted to make that commentary because so many black girls, they are hurting out here as related to their relationship with their fathers. And it's that relationship with their fathers that has them really stuck in a place where they're going nowhere. They're not understanding how deep these daddy issues go in their lives, and how deep these daddy issues are impacting their ability to be able to have an abundant life. Now, the ESTEEM character, as she was emotionally wounded by Seth's lies, grows up to become an extremely bitter young woman. Yes, she's attractive on the outside, but on the inside, she is dealing with all of these inner demons as related to this rejection by her father, and dealing with all of these issues as related to the way people have treated her. And this has led to her having all of this anger inside of her, and all of that anger explodes into rage when she finally learns about her mother's dark heritage as a sorceress, and participates in the baptism of blood, where she goes into Osiris's temple, murders a group of people who work there, and then pledges loyalty to Lucifer and becomes the demon. Now, with this transformation, I wanted to make a commentary on how the black woman is changed when she winds up having this disconnection from her father. She goes from being a beautiful, young, pure sister and is changed into this demon. And this demon is just a reflection of who she is on the inside. What you see on the outside is a reflection of who she is on the inside. Now, the ESTEEM character is so transformed by this process on the inside as related to these emotional hurts and these emotional pains that she can't even stand to see her own human face. She thinks that the demon face is her real face, the face with the reptile eyes, the fangs, and the horns. She thinks that that's the real her real face, but that's just the face she puts on as a mask to keep people from seeing the real her who has been hurt. And with that part of the character, I wanted to make a commentary on black female self-hatred, because a lot of times all of these hurts as related to the relationship with her father are the thing that drive a lot of the self-hatred that the black woman has, because the black woman, she wants to look like this creature on the outside because she doesn't want to see people seeing all of the hurt she has on the inside. So she'll put on this face, and that's what we see with that, what they call resting B-word face, or that scowling face. That's a defensive mechanism because these women are hurting on the inside and they don't want us to see that hurt, so they put on this defense. Moreover, this is the thing we see with the black woman putting on the weave and putting on the makeup. Again, this is about putting on a mask, and this mask being something that allows them to reflect all of their hurt on the inside to the outside. And that's what I wanted to do with the ESTEEM character, was show how this appearance as a demon was all about all of this hurt that the black woman has. And your black woman, she hurts on the inside, and that's why we see this monster coming out on the outside. That's why we see this attitude. That's why we see the what I call the snake neck, which is them doing the heads like that. That's why we see all of this anger and all of this, hostility directed towards black men, because all of this is being directed not at the brother on the street. This is being directed on a subconscious level at the father that she didn't have a relationship with, or the father who she believes rejected her based on what her mother had told her. And that was also what I wanted to say with the Seth character, is that just like the single mom told a lot of lies about the father, the whole thing is a lot of black girls have been told lies about their father, and those lies are the thing that drive them to do harm to others, and those lies are the thing that drive them to destroy every person around them. And that's what I wanted to make the commentary with the ESTEEM character, was that your black woman is being driven to go out here and harm other brothers out here. That's why her relationships oftentimes fail. That's why everything in her life is so filled with chaos, because she has no foundation with her father biologically, and she has no foundation with her true father, the Most High living God. Because in order for a girl to grow up healthy, she has to be a part of God's natural order. And in God's natural order, we have God, the Most High, the creator of the universe, Jesus, his son. We have the man, who is the steward over the earth. And then we have the mother, and then we have the children, which is the daughter. And if this order is completely disrupted, what happens is, instead of a girl growing up healthy with a relationship with her mother and her father, she winds up growing up in chaos, and this chaos is the thing that drives her to do harm to others, because she's learned harm and destruction as her model. Now, the ESTEEM character went on for thousands of years looking to destroy the lives of others. She participated in the assassination of Osiris in the early days of Heliopolis, and then after that, then went out here and tried to murder Isis, the daughter of Osiris, later on in about 1881. And it was after this encounter with Isis that the ESTEEM character runs into Lucifer once more, and she winds up trying to challenge Isis again and winds up getting defeated by Isis, and then winds up learning that from Lucifer that he finally pulls the fast one over her. However, we fast forward a couple of thousand years later, and the Lucifer character then recruits the ESTEEM character to go out here and destroy the life of John Haynes, because your ESTEEM, after her defeat with Isis, winds up in a place of isolation. She winds up alone. And again, I wanted to make a commentary there about how your black woman, after she's destroyed all of her relationships with people, destroyed all of the lives of people all around her, and alienated all of the people around her due to her anger and self-hate issues, winds up all alone. Because this is what happens to your black woman when she's out here. When she destroys the lives of others due to her personal hurts, she winds up all alone, like the 70% of black women who are currently single right now. Because what I wanted to say was, after you've alienated all of the people who truly care about you, and you go in with the devil and help him destroy things around you, you not only destroy those things, you destroy all of the relationships to your safety net and your relationship with the Most High. And what happens is you wind up all alone, stuck in the middle of nowhere, practically miserable, all by yourself. And this is what happens to many black women out here. They go out here and they destroy all of the lives of people all around them. They alienate all of the people who care about them, and they have this deep anger and self-hatred that is the thing that continues to drive them, like with ESTEEM, and that drove her in the Baptism of Blood and the Politics of Hell, 2 free ebooks you can get on Smashwords. And this is the thing that leads to the ESTEEM character coming to a crossroads that starts in the novel The Temptation of John Haynes. Now, in the novel The Temptation of John Haynes, I continue my commentary on the black woman and how the black woman's self-hatred and daddy issues lead to her winding up on this really bad road. Because Lucifer, seeing ESTEEM stuck all alone and isolated and emotionally vulnerable, then wants to recruit ESTEEM to go out here and destroy the life of John Haynes, a common black man and a follower of the Most High. So he wants to compromise John Haynes by having ESTEEM seduce her, and as he has her working with him, she's thinking that John Haynes is going to be this weak man that he can easily compromise through a sexual encounter. However, as ESTEEM is working with John at Morris Phillips, he is showing her this example of the Most High God, and as a follower of the Most High God, showing her his love. And this is one of the things that starts to change ESTEEM's perspective on things. Because your ESTEEM, she grew up in this home, and she learned from her father, the foundations of family, and this makes her think about those foundations as related to family. Because as she starts to really think about how much she loves and cares about John Haynes, she starts to think about her relationship with her father, Osiris. And that's the thing that really leads to the change in ESTEEM, because she really starts to see that if she loves this man the same way she loved her father, she cannot go out here and destroy this man's life. No, she has to go out here and save this man's life. So the redemption of the ESTEEM character is in The Temptation of John Haynes. She learns from his example, but she also learns that her relationship with her father is the same as the relationship with the man that she wants to get involved with. a man who she would consider to be a husband, because she looks at it and starts to see that the things that she's doing to hurt this man are the exact same things she was doing to destroy the life of her father. And this was a commentary on how your black woman, she doesn't see how everything that she does to destroy her relationship with her child's father, her boyfriend, and her husband's is the same thing she's doing to her, that is done as related to her father. Because these daddy issues that black women have, they are just so intrinsic that they don't see that the things that you do to this man are subconsciously the things you want to do to your father. You want to hurt your father, so since he's not here, you go out here looking to destroy the life of a man. And the devil, he will go along with this because he is all about death, destruction, and he's all about the theft of a soul. So he's all about killing, stealing, and destroying, and he will encourage you to do this, and you won't see how you're becoming the weapon that he uses to destroy a man, and how you destroying that man destroys everything as related to God's natural order. And not only destroys it, it destroys everything all around you. So this is something I wanted to make a commentary on in The Temptation of John Haynes. I wanted to make that commentary with the ESTEEM character about how this black woman's daddy issues are used to destroy the black community, and how the black community would be destroyed if ESTEEM were to compromise John Haynes, and how that connects all the way back to ancient Egypt and the destruction of ancient Egypt. Because when you destroy the father who is in the home, you prevent other men from being able to build, because the legacy, again, for building goes on through the man, but the culture is preserved through the woman. So if your legacy was destruction through the woman, and she's out here and she's teaching destruction, what happens is there is nothing there. And that's what ESTEEM comes to understand in the final acts of The Temptation of John Haynes, that she is destroying this, she would be destroying black America in the same way she would help to destroy ancient Egypt. And this is where the ESTEEM character hits a turning point in her life, and this is where the ESTEEM character really starts to really see the change. And as she's trying to do the devil's dirty work, she then realizes she's gone too far, and it's in that climax that the ESTEEM character finally starts to come to the understanding of the Most High living God, because in her beliefs, she thought because Osiris was the Pharaoh and the Pharaoh was a god, she thought she had no chance. And this was one of the other things that motivated her to become this demon, was she thought she had no hope. But when she runs into John Haynes and he shows her the love of God, and he shows her that she has a chance at salvation, because with the Most High you have the ultimate chance at salvation, and you can, and if you give your life to him, you get that final chance at salvation. So the John Haynes relationship, again, it shows us that this woman and her daddy issues, she could find this redemption and salvation. Even though she had committed all of these great and evil acts, she could still find this salvation through the Most High living God. And with that, the ESTEEM character finally finds the true road to salvation and starts a new character transformation arc. And this new character transformation arc is all about her learning how to become a righteous woman in the Most High. And it's about her learning how to work on that relationship with the Most High, and then working on those father issues. And that's after The Temptation of John Haynes. I start the ESTEEM series and the book Isis Amari's Revenge. Both of them, I starting to show how the ESTEEM character starts on this straight and narrow road to righteousness. And the ESTEEM character, after she then falls broken before John Haynes, she then gives her life to the Most High Living God, and then as she starts working on that relationship, God starts working out the things as related to her numerous father issues. Because when you have a relationship with the Most High, He's going to work out all of these issues, because He wants you to be a servant, and He wants you to learn how to be a servant in His order. And all of those things that are keeping you from being that servant, He's going to pull away from you. And that's something that I wanted to make that commentary on with the ESTEEM character as related to the issues she has, these father issues that led to her becoming a destroyer. This is all a part of her rebuilding and her rebuilding process. And after she submits to John Haynes and submits to John Haynes' authority under God, God starts working in her life in the story Amari's Revenge, where she reconciles with her adopted father, Osiris, and then starts working on becoming a woman under the authority of the Most High. So in the ESTEEM series, we start to see the ESTEEM character as she starts to deal with her inner demons in some of these ESTEEM stories like Demons Anonymous and Fairy Tale and the Isis story, Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy, where she finally learns the truth about the lie Seth told her. We start to see the ESTEEM character develop and grow, and that's what happens, I believe, to a black woman when she starts to work on these daddy issues. She starts to grow, she starts to progress, and this can happen, I believe, for many of our sisters out here if they're willing to put in the work. But a lot of sisters don't want to deal with that pain. But I wanted to show in this ESTEEM character, that it is possible to deal with these issues, because this isn't something being talked about in most regular fiction. But I wanted to make a commentary in my fantasy fiction with the ESTEEM character, that she had to deal with these issues as related to her father, and the underlying issues as that are sprouting from that father issue, such as the self-hatred, such as the anger, such as the wanting to destroy people. As the character starts to grow, she starts to form healthy relationships with people. She starts to take that look inside of herself, which is something she did in the stories Witches of Eastland, where these witches wanted to give ESTEEM this demon face and make it her permanent face, and she starts to look at her real face and see that her real face is beautiful. And in the story Little Girl Lost, where she helps the little girl, and she does not wear the demon face as she's taking on Brimstone Jack and the demon strippers, she starts to realize, I don't need this mask anymore to hide behind. I don't need this mask to go out here and hide who I really am. She starts to become comfortable with who she is, and this eventually leads to the story ESTEEM Ascension, where the ESTEEM character finally, as she's confronting the villain Delilah, who has all of her powers, realizes that her greatest enemy was herself, and she finally, after she defeats herself, which is represented by the Delilah character who has all of her powers, she takes her power back, and in taking that power back, she rises to another level. And that's one of the other commentaries I wanted to make about the black woman, is that you can rise to another level if you take your power back. And part of taking your power back is realizing that your relationship with your father is, while it is damaged, there is something you can do about that relationship. And while you have issues with your father, there are things you can do to work on those issues, because many black girls out here, they grow up with all of these father issues, and they don't see how these father issues impact them over time. They don't see how these father issues are the thing that are preventing them from being able to have an abundant life. they don't see how these father issues are the thing that are preventing them from being able to share love, be able to receive love, be able to connect with people and get love. A lot of them are out here like ESTEEM, wandering in the desert, wandering lost, looking for love in all sorts of places and never finding love because they are spiritually lost, spiritually dead on the inside, and not understanding how the Father's love is the only thing that can be able to save them, because the love of a father is the only way to get that is through the Most High. And again, you have to understand how it relates to your relationships, because if your relationship with your earthly father is severed, it really prevents you from having a relationship with your spiritual father in heaven. So the father is a very important and essential part of a girl's life. But your feminists, they'll sit there and say, you don't need a man. And when they cut you off from your father, they prevent you from being able to have a relationship with another man, the same way ESTEEM was struggling to have a relationship with John Haynes in The Temptation of John Haynes, until she started to see that example of him and his relationship with God, and then started to look at her own relationship with her father and say, this man is, if I want to have a relationship with this man, I need to deal with these father issues. And we see that with the ESTEEM character as she grows in other stories like Man Who Rules the World, where she starts to learn as she's reconciled with her adopted father and is confronted by her biological father, Masticacious. She starts to commit to the order of the Most High and her relationship with John Haynes and her father, Osiris, because she sees love in those relationships. And that's something most girls, they don't really understand the connection between our spiritual father and our biological and our real fathers. We don't understand whether they be adopted or biological. This man is a model of manhood. This man's example of manhood represents our connection to God. And this model of manhood, it is something that leads to black girls wanting to go out here and seek a husband, because when a girl is healthy, she wants to have that relationship with her husband as she had with her father. She wants to have that bond with that man the same way she had with her father when she is healthy. But when you have black girls and they grow up in a dysfunctional environment, they're looking for love from all of these other men out here, like your Pookies and your Ray Rays. And the reason why they are looking for that love from those Pookies and those Ray Rays is because they're not getting their emotional needs met by their father. Because just like the boy gets his emotional needs met by the mother, the girl gets her emotional needs met by the father. The father is the one who shows the girl that she is lovable, deserving of love, and is somebody who should be loved. And while the mother provides discipline and structure on the daughter, the father gives her that love, and he also provides for her so that she can remain emotionally secure. So the father is an important part of a daughter's life. And I wanted to show with the ESTEEM character how when there is no father there to give that girl that love, she winds up becoming this demon. And she's a demon because on the inside, she is struggling with demons of the legion of the devil. And as she's struggling with those demons, she becomes a demon on the outside because she's being tormented on the inside. And it's only with the healing of a righteous man that a woman can come out of this process. And she has to want to come out of it too, because she has to realize that if she stays like this, like ESTEEM, she's going to be going nowhere. And if she winds up there, she's going to wind up destroying in a place where she's just lost and just completely forgotten. And that's not something any black woman should really want, because the thing that most people don't want to understand about black women is a lot of our sisters are hurting. And our sisters are hurting because that foundation was not really established as related to them having a relationship with their fathers. And most of these feminists out here, they told the black woman that they were strong, independent, they did not need a man, but you did need a man in order to create that child biologically, and you also need that man in that child's life as they're growing up so that they can become healthy emotionally and healthy overall. Because without that father in the home to provide a model for manhood, an example of a man's love, and an example of how she is to be treated by a man, she winds up again lost like the ESTEEM character was. And I wanted to make that commentary with this ESTEEM character because I don't see too many writers out here making commentaries about little black girls and the impact of a lack of a father in their life, in their stories, nor do I see many writers out here making commentaries about how this affects a girl as she grows up to become a woman. So over the course of the stories that I did with the ESTEEM character, I wanted to make that social commentary about how having a severed or a damaged relationship with a father affects a black girl, because this is one of the things that affects our black girls and our black women. And I believe that we really need to discuss this, because this is something that a lot of our black women, they're sitting there wondering why they're so angry, why they're so frustrated, why they're so hurting. And it's hurt because you're on a subconscious level expressing all of this anger and frustration about the father that wasn't there. And these things are preventing you from living the abundant life that God has provided for you. God wants the very best for the black woman, but the black woman is too caught up in feminism and this pseudo-Christian religion to understand that God has far more out there for her. And the whole thing is that she has to work on that relationship with her father in order to get back to a connection to the Most High living God. And that's one of the things I wanted to do with the ESTEEM character, was make that social commentary, because we really need to work on the black woman and the black woman's issues as related to her father. And we really need to discuss this in more than fantasy, but in this fantasy, I wanted to start the seeds in young girls' minds as related to working on those issues as related to the father, because if we start to work on those issues, we can start to have healing in the black community, and we can start to have healing, and many of these sisters can start connecting with brothers and start having healthy relationships with black men. So that's what I wanted to do with the ESTEEM character, was make that social commentary, because science fiction and fantasy is all about making social commentary between the lines, and I wanted to make that social commentary between the lines of all of my action-packed ESTEEM series stories about the black woman, her relationship with her father, and how it directly relates to her relationship with her boyfriend or her husband. And all of those things, they have to be worked out, because if this girl doesn't work these father issues out with her father, she's not going to be able to have a successful relationship with a man that turns into a relationship that becomes a husband. Because having a man is not a part of God's natural order. Having a husband is a part of God's natural order, because a husband has a defined role as established by God, and a wife has a role established by God as well. And what God wants a woman to be is a wife, and a wife is something that most black women don't know how to be. But I, again, wanted to make this commentary because we need to start talking about these issues, and we need to start seeing a model for how to work these issues out. And with the ESTEEM character's character transformation arc, I wanted to show how she was working these things out, and how she worked from becoming a woman who was lost in the pagan world to becoming a righteous woman under the Most High, to a woman who was growing in Christ and the Most High, and learning and further developing into a righteous woman. If you want to learn more about the ESTEEM character, you can pick up the books of the ESTEEM series on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, ESTEEM Essential, The Devil's Dealer reaches a turning point in the life of this powerful ESTEEM series story. Get ESTEEM Essential at online booksellers today. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, ESTEEM Goddess of. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a demonic dominatrix in this action-packed, all-new ESTEEM series adventure. Get ESTEEM Goddess of in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.